Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, and welcome back to The Lift with your auntie Sheila. Sheila Robinson Kiss in the house. You know, we've got it all here: mental health, movement, motivation, and the best relationship advice around. If you're loving what I'm doing, please don't forget to subscribe and share the news of the channel with your friends and family. We're going to dive right into a topic that I feel in my heart. This video is going to be very healing on contact for so many individuals. I heard from Jean, and I don't know, what's in the air, but as you know, I'm a spiritual woman, and when the spirit is moving and asks me to do something, I respond. I've received about 4 letters over the last month dealing with struggles around mother wounding, and hence the title for today, Mothers Who Wound Their Children, how to move on, how to forgive them. So let's dive in. Jean inspired today's message along with some of the other notes. Here we go. Dear Sheila, thank you for the sound advice over the years. I'm almost 40 years old, and I'm still struggling with my relationship with my mother. It's a distant relationship and always has been. She's been very cold over the years and sometimes cruel. I am having a home built, and the contractors did not finish on time. I've seldom asked my mother for anything, but I did need to ask her to let the kids stay with her while the back end of the work on the house is being finished, as I would be working out of town. She could have done this with ease, as she lives in a home that is big enough where she would not have been bothered by their noisy play. She said no because she had too much going on. As far as I know, she sat home during that time and watched TV. She has caused me so much pain. I harbor resentment toward her and still question why she seems to have disdain for me. I'm a Christian and want to be honorable toward her. It is hard, as she has let me down at every turn with no apologies. I've tried to build a bridge, yet there is no energy coming back at me. My question is, when is it okay to let go? I'm exhausted. Thank you, Jean. Well, Jean, thank you for being vulnerable. You have absolutely come to the right place. I have a lot to say about this topic. When you think about our world, I'm not even saying our society, our world, that symbolism of the mother, the nurturing, the caring, the tenderness. I've not seen any psychological wound do as much damage to the human psyche and the soul as, what can happen when a human being does not receive that adequate nurturing, particularly in the formative years. It creates a burden. It creates a burden for the child who becomes a teenager, who becomes a young adult, who becomes a middle-aged adult. It creates a burden, and it's a constant tug at the soul. And if you don't go back and do that healing work and corrective work, what you're going to do, should you decide to have children, should you procreate, it's a good chance that you're going to continue that cycle. Let's start here. This is a wonderful place to start. Bringing this down to its bare bones, basic parts. Understand this: hurt people hurt people. Women who have been hurt and go on to have children and they have not resolved any of that, and it is active and they are living it through, and they don't have the head capacity or the heart capacity. One of them has to come in there. If not the head, then the heart, and vice versa. If they're striking zeros on both, then what you're going to have is a child who's in that situation and who is compromised. So this is a real world channel. I don't know how else to get into it or to say it. I've really got to give it to you straight as I can. And I want to talk about 3 things for you, Jean, and everyone else who's listening. And in Jesus' name, I pray that this video would touch and heal lives, Father God, on contact. On contact. I want to talk about 3 areas. Number one thing I want you to keep in mind: before your mother was your mother, she was a human being. There is a full history there. I'm not, see, I'm going beyond even when she was a child, because this is a spiritual channel. The sojourn, you see, sojourn, because I've seen too many I know a mom who she had her first child at 16. So I don't want anyone giving me this, oh, it's circumstance, young mother, their child is 16. And through that, hustled, she folded into motherhood, worked hard. Today she's an accountant, she's rocking and rolling, has 4 children. And you hear what I said there? She folded into motherhood. Now, something happens to a woman. Either this occurs or it doesn't. There's no middle ground. There's literally no middle ground here. Either when the baby comes, either the woman folds into motherhood, meaning she steps up. It's a very intimate decision each woman has to make. And she steps up and says within herself, yes, I will take the mantle of responsibility and run with it. And by default, right there, that means sacrifices, emotional sacrifice, physical sacrifice. You're going to be tired. You're going to need to do things. You're going to have to hustle with everything you need to do. Either the woman folds into that or she does not. And often what I've seen, because I've sat with thousands of people at this point in my career, we're not talking a couple years, guys. I'll be hitting, year number 28 during this work. And what'll happen if she doesn't? Oftentimes, that is a woman or a young woman who has been involved in generational cycles of pain, as in hurt people, is either not at all working through that. Maybe I've seen it where people are completely unaware of the damage that they're doing. And that's perhaps the most insidious kind. And it's really off to the races. And when that is the case, a woman has not folded in and accepted the mantle of motherhood, and she's railing against it. That's when the child becomes a source of resentment. I've seen mothers who compete with their children. I've seen mothers who attempt to undercut their children. I've seen mothers who've been the antithesis of nurturing. And I have had adults, and when I say adults, I mean fully grown adults in their 60s and 70s, crying and just falling apart and just so raw with that wounding. Even though many years had gone by, it's the mother wound. And there is something that's so deep about it. And I'll tell you, I speak with conviction on this topic because, you guys, I've been candid in the videos. Go back, watch Harp Seal Mamas, watch all the videos I've done. Well, Sheila, how the heck would you know? I have experience. I have a frame of reference. I've taken that walk. All these steps that I'm telling you, I had to go through each and every one of these steps to release, to heal, to forgive my mother. God bless her. And it's some of the hardest work I've ever had to do. But I'm telling you right now, hear me and please hear me well. It is an imperative, and I'll get to it further in step 3, but it's an imperative that you find a place within you of complete and total forgiveness, because I will tell you, keep it, this resentment that you speak of, Jean, keeping people in the prison of your heart. Look up your state, look up the stats in the state you live in on how much it costs to keep a prisoner incarcerated. If they're in your heart, you have to feed them, clothe them. Of course I'm speaking in a metaphor, but I think you can pick up what I'm putting down. It's an energy. You have to hold the resentment in place. Resentment is extremely heavy. And what it does, it pulls down every aspect of your life. And people say, oh, I can't get where I want to go. It's just not happening. Do you have resentment? And particularly if you have that core resentment toward your parents, you are not going to excel and reach the heights. Oh, but Sheila, I'm doing fine. I didn't say fine. That's not my goal. For the folks who bless me and watch this channel, the subscribers, Auntie Sheila, that's not my goal for you to do fine. My goal is for you to experience the heights, the bliss of what you came here to do. You cannot do it if you're holding resentment in your heart. It's like a lead weight in your soul. It's a lead weight in your soul. So, I want to say a few words on number 2 is you don't have to like the capacity that your mother had or has. You don't have to enjoy the capacity, but you do have to acknowledge the capacity. I was taking a walk this morning with an extremely wise woman, very good friend of mine, and we got into this a wonderful dialogue just about honoring capacity. And for you, coming back to your question, Jean, when can you let go? You can let go now. And letting go does not mean turning your back or being disrespectful. You can be very honorable. Please, I'll reference my video, One Step Process, oh so lovely, to let go. And when I say let go, it's let go of expectation. Let go of any fantasy that your mother is going to magically, become anything and anyone other than what she has shown you. What she's announced to you over the years, this is my capacity. This is what I have to offer you. And our pain comes in when we just won't acknowledge it. And we get caught in what is called, I call it the dry breast syndrome that many, particularly adult children, suffer from. You're going to the mom. You think about this metaphor of the breast milk. Mom, give me something. Can you give me an ounce, a cup, something? The capacity's not there. There is no nurturing station here. There is no breast milk available for you. And you all know where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to be funny here. I'm serious as a heart attack. And you stand there and you're trying to get the nourishment, and therein lies the pain. And then there's nothing coming at you, or even worse than that, nothing. It's cruelty coming at you. And that's very painful. But as soon as you acknowledge the capacity, so Sheila, I can't, it seems very hard to me. You don't have to do it by yourself. We fully lean into, you have how I say it almost every video, the angels, the hand of God, that capacity, that power is there. Lean into it. Stand before me. Stand in the gap, because I really can't do this myself. And I need you to stand there so I can lean into you, so I can finally look at what the capacity is. And I don't have to be victimized anymore by the dry breast syndrome, because that nurturing is not there. You see, and the further you hook in to this by a stubborn refusing to honor the capacity, what you do is you pick up that a secondary mantle of, oh my goodness, I'm going to perpetuate this cycle. And don't make no mistake. Some of you, well, what you talking about, Sheila? I'm not perpetuating the cycle. I'm a good mom. I'm loving to my children. Hold on. A truly broken cycle is not about I'm loving to my children, I'm a good mom, but I'm filled with resentment over here. You haven't broken the cycle. That's still a cycle of pain, because you're carrying that lead weight in your soul. Breaking the cycle fully means I don't like any of this that happened or what went on, but what I realize, this is an individual without the capacity. They haven't done the work. They haven't gotten into it, and that's where they choose for their life to be. Was hard as hell early on, but I'm not in that mix anymore. I'm not in that mix anymore. I had to slide and glide. And then from there, Jean, it's up to you to really figure out what honoring looks like to you. But I'll tell you, I love the idea of uh, being honorable and doing the things and loving and being kind to the extent you're allowed. To the extent you are allowed. Understand that when someone is turning away your warmth, your loveness, your niceties, well, you don't want the full deluxe package. You haven't positioned yourself for it. But perhaps I can do this or that. So you see, we can be decent and kind and honorable without betraying yourself and without put lacerations on the soul. So that's the core piece, is to get in to that capacity. And then third, coming back to the prisoner in your heart is just so costly, is getting situated into that release work for one primary reason. And then the secondary benefits and the third and fourth flow from that is, we're here. The primary work is transformational work. And what has helped me over the years and helped me along the way, to really not just at surface level forgiveness, but true forgiveness. Like, that's not going to work out in this particular way, but I bless you. I really bless you. All you need to do is sit down with a piece of paper and look over your own life and how many transgressions, things you've done, could be public, most of it is private, what thoughts you've had, different things of this nature, and then look how even inside of that you've been blessed again and again and again. Who are we to harbor resentments? Who are we to do that? With the primary work that we're here to do is to transform, to understand boundaries, and to forgive. That's the deepest work of life. Now, if you have a Mercedes, a fancy penthouse, going to the restaurants, you like clothes. I mean, all of that, this is fun. These are creature comforts. These are bonuses of life. But the core work, the spiritual work, has to do with being in service to souls. We're in service to one another. That's why people who hide themselves away, and I don't like people, and I'm not going to deal with people. You're not in the mix out here. You're not in the mix of humanity in doing the work. That's part of the dirty work of it, leads to the joyful work. The seeds are planted and they become beautiful flowers. So, Jean, the question becomes, how much time, given the mountain of evidence and information that you have, do you want to allow this resentment to chew up and eat up your soul? This has been going on from what your letter lays out. This has been going on your whole life. This has been going on a long time. All the evidence is in. Like, this is the capacity that your mother has. The whys of it and how, I don't know, but I can tell you this: there's something that occurred. There's something is spiritually off center, and not in a rested place within your mom. Because I can tell you what, let me tell you what, that you will know the tree by the fruit it bears. And also, if you want to look for where light is, where joy is, where God is, look for the happiness. Look for the generosity, look for the giving spirit, look for the smile. That's where God is. Alive, active, balanced, and well. And where I see degradation, I've had grown men and women cry, my mom, she didn't show up for me. She did this and then, did that with the grandchildren. I can't believe it. I do believe it. I can believe it because there is a different energy that is running through these women who can do these things. And God bless each and every individual. But you have to go to the Lord to get that cleared. You have to go through the Lord to get for it. Everyone who's out there thinking, I'm going to, if I take my mom to one more brunch, if I'm, just do this the right way and do that right, and all of that is beautiful. God sees it. I love you for it. It's a beautiful heart, and everything, the Lord sees everything. But understand that each one of us will be accountable. I truly believe that we're going to have to stand and make an accounting of our actions or our inactions. And so then the focus becomes honoring the truth and intention of the situation that you are in. And, Jean, I want you to know that there is more than one way to be honorable, and you do not need, you're reaching for conversations. I want to heal this. I want to get it. Heal yourself. You can never be responsible for anyone else, but you can heal. You can get the closure that you need just by acknowledging that which is before you. That is the healing. That is the closure, and we cover it with the blood of Jesus, and you go on. You see, you go on. And I've had people, I've witnessed it, they've moved into these deeper levels of acceptance. Someone I worked with some years ago had dropped me a line and said, Sheila, I was sitting with my mom, and she looked at me, she said, "You're so doggone happy. I know you didn't get it from me." Yeah, Mom, you're right. I didn't get it from you, but it's the hand of God. And this is someone that her mother had literally devastated her life, but she came to the point so filled with joy, so filled with that healing, and was able to move on. Like, that's not, I don't want to be wrapped up in that anymore. I gave enough time to that. I'm, want to heal my life, have a good life. That's you. I was here for the taking. You missed that boat, but look, let's just jump on this boat. So you see, it really, if you sit with everything I've shared, it has so much to do with capacity, and just saying, I'm not going to have a lead weight here in my heart. And that involves the release. So, Jean, I hope something I've shared has made a difference for you and your life. Watch the video again. As I say, lean into the strength and power of the Lord if you find a challenge with this release and forgiveness. And I'm telling you, you're going to get there. You all, don't forget, check out my Tools Not Talk link. I have a wonderful course that I put together inside of an accountability group. We really keep it going. It's lively. I'm forming new circles all the time. Also, if you're loving what I'm doing, please don't forget to subscribe. Share the news of the channel with your friends and family. You guys, forgiveness is the way and elevation. I'll be back real soon. Thank you.